Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Welcome to today's episode of Top Deck, where we are covering none other than a Rakdos Ramp deck. This version was ran by Andrea Sizlehi. Apologies, I probably butchered that, but nice job in your Star City Games performance. Now, Planeswalkers, we do have a ton coming at you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, so please feel free to skip to the portion of the video down below with the timestamps. And while you're down there, there's great ways to support the channel, but we're going to cover the objective of the deck and high-level strategy. We'll drill into the deck list. We'll cover the sideboard and how we sideboard for our best of 3 matches, and then we're going to go play some best of 1 and best of 3 competitive Magic for you here today. Now, when it comes to the strategy and objective of this deck, the naming convention of this is Rakdos Ramp, which is already a nice purview of what's going to happen. But the Rakdos comes to us from the black and the red, or the swamp and the mountain color schema on the Magic pinwheel here, and it comes from the Ravnica guilds, and it's all about this ramping. So this deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. Additionally, deck links. But when we're talking about what it means to move quickly here with this deck, it's all about getting to Ironcrag Feet here. At turn 5, you're going to be able to cast good old Ugin, and it's essentially going to seal you the game, unless you're probably playing a counter deck or something that's going to be able to remove this guy rather quickly. At a minimum, it's going to shake up the board, and your opponents are definitely going to lose their board position. But for us to get there, we got to be able to stabilize early. So we have a lot of things here to really help us get to what we need to and get us to Ugin and allow us to continue to keep pace and focus on that ramp while locking down that early to mid-range game. So that is what is going to occur with this deck. That is the objective, and that is the goal of how we're going to do it. And it's all enabled between things like Solemn Simulacrum, as well as this Ironcrag, like we said, and then the ability to hold our opponents back with a couple of different one-offs, but also some consistent removal there, as well as I always love the many trade cards where we can trade a 1-card like Extinction Event for many of their creatures on the board, which is always very, very important. So that is what we have going on here today. That is the strategy, that is the objective of this deck. Now we're going to go ahead here quickly and look at each of these components fast. So we have Spikefield Hazard. This is a mortal land. It can deal 1 damage to any target, so don't forget that. If a permanent dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. It can also come in as a nice tapped land, so this helps us prevent some flooding. We have Eliminate, where we can destroy a target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less. This is great against the mono white decks, helpful against taking out a Basri, for instance. Then we have Heartless Act, another instant kill spell. This one destroys target creature with no counters on it, or removes up to 3 counters from target creature. Then we got good old Scorching Dragonfire. So here, when it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, if it would die, we can exile it instead. The other suggestion for this deck that you could do is you could do the 3 damage one and cycle the cards from your hand and get pull from your library to kind of help with some of that filtering and hand smoothing that you may need, or land smoothing and ramp that you may need as well. Then we got Shredded Sails. This is a nice one of to have, where we can destroy a target artifact at instant speed or deal 4 damage to target creature with flying. We can only choose one of these, but we also have cycle, so it's not a dead card in our hand. We have Kroxa, Titan of Hunger's Death, a great card where we can enter the battlefield once this guy enters and or attacks. Each opponent's going to discard a card. If an opponent didn't discard a non-land card this way, they're going to lose 3 life. And the other thing is, when Kroxa does enter the battlefield, if it didn't come in from escape, you're going to have to sacrifice it. But luckily, we can pull it back from that graveyard with that escape, which is the 4 cost there. And we got to exile draw 5 other cards from our graveyard to do that. Then we have Maze Mind Tomb, one of my favorite cards from M21. We can tap this artifact here to put a Maze Mind Tomb on and scry 1. And then for 2, we can put a page counter on, sorry, I meant page counter, on Maze Mind Tomb, and then draw a card if we pay 2. So great way to continue to refill our hand. And then when there's 4 or more page counters on Maze Mind Tomb, exile it, and we gain 4 life. So this also not only helps hand smooth, helps draw, we also get a little bit more sustainability on our life there as well. We have Shatterskull Smashing. So this is another nice modal land. I call them the pain lands, even though I know that it's really the shock, or should be the shock lands, but it's not. It can enter with where we pay 3 life and it doesn't enter tapped, or we can have it enter tapped. Otherwise, we have the ability, again, like I said, to prevent some flooding, where we can cast this for a sorcery. Shatterskull Smashing will deal X damage as we divide it, as we choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, Shatterskull Smashing deals twice X damage, divided as we choose among them instead. We have good old Bone Crusher here. This is an adventure card. It deals 2 damage that can't be prevented at instant speed with Stomp, or we can have it enter as a 4/3 giant. If it becomes the target of a spell or ability, that spell's owner will get 2 damage dealt to them, so be careful with that one. Kazul's Fury, another nice modal land. Here, as an additional cost to cast this card, we can sacrifice a creature at instant speed, and it will deal damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. So this is always a nice top and out that people forget about. And then last but not least there, the Cliffs enter the battlefield tapped, so that's our modal land. Then we got Extinction Event. So like I messaged already or mentioned, here we get a 1 for many, a sorcery speed where we can choose odd or even, exile each of those creatures with convert mana cost of the chosen value. 0 is even. We got the Iron Crag Feat, so we are running 3 of these. We can add 7 mana. You can cast only 1 more spell this turn. You're really going to be playing this into this guy here, so keep that in mind. You could always play this into this if you had to, or some other things, and it's a great pump for Shatterskull Smashing. A lot of people forget that as well, so don't forget that. But the reality is, it's really about helping get Ugin pumped and on the board. Then we got Solemn Simulacrum. As mentioned, this is a nice deck thinner and ramper, where when it enters the battlefield, we can search our library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle our library, and then when this creature dies, we may also draw a card. We have Ox of Agonis, so this guy's great at refilling our hand. When it enters the battlefield, we're going to discard our hand, then draw 3 cards. We can escape it for 2, but we got to exile 8 other cards from our graveyard, and Ox of Agonis will escape with a +1/+1 counter on it. Then last but not least, we got Ugin the Spirit Dragon. So Ugin here deals 3 damage to any target as its Planeswalker +2. It's down X, or it will exile each permanent with convert mana cost X or less. That's 1 or more colors. So colorless stuff like Simulacrum here is not going to get exiled, and or the Maze Mind Tombs. And last but not least, here are down 10, or its ultimate. We're going to gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put up to 7 permanent cards from our hand onto the battlefield. So very, very powerful there. And then last but not least, we got some lands here. I'm a huge fan of the Crawling Barrens. I love how we have 4 in the main board. So that's really nice. Other considerations that you could throw in here is just the Triomes, just in case you want to cycle. Something to think about as well. And then what I do like here in a moment that we'll talk about in terms of the sideboard is this ability to play Field of Ruin out of your sideboard. So really, really like this deck. I'm very excited to play it for you here today. That is the main board. So now we're going to go talk about the sideboard here, and then we're going to talk about how we're going to line that up for our best 3 matches. So first off, we got Duress here. Target opponents can reveal their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player is going to discard that card. Now, you're going to play this against control and mid-range type games. So these are going to be things like the Doom decks, Yorion decks, also UW control that you may be running into now. Also, this works great against other mid-range decks like Rakdos mid-range, the Selesnya Adventures, Sultai, those kinds of things. Then we got Soul Guide Lantern. So here, when this enters the battlefield, we get to exile target card from a graveyard. So you could potentially exile from your own if you wanted to. You can sack it, exile each opponent's graveyard, and then sacrifice Soul Guide Lantern, draw a card. So places that this one makes sense is anytime that your opponent's playing Luris, it's going to help you against rogue decks. It's going to help you against the Rakdos mid-range, Rakdos Escape, those decks as well. And then the other piece that this is helpful with is if you did run into a cycle deck or something like that, this could be a good one for you. So anything leveraging the graveyard, you're going to want to play this. Then we have Agonizing Remorse. Here pairs well because we already got Duress. Target opponent's going to reveal their hand. You choose a non-land card from it or a card from their graveyard, exile a card, you lose 1 life. I would play this against late game decks. I would play this against the mid-range decks that are utilized in the graveyard, like the Rakdos Escape, Rakdos mid-range. You don't have to pick apart their hand. You can also pick apart something out of their graveyard and get that Crocs out if you need to, so that's always a good point. The other piece that this works well in is those Doom decks, Esper, Dance of the Mance, those kinds of things that you can get out of their hands, and other Yorion decks as well. Then we got Heartless Act. So here, we already talked about this card, instant kill spell, speed, cast ability here. But you're going to play this against aggro decks. You're going to play this against things like Mono Red, Naya, Winata, Boros Knights, Mardu Knights. You're going to want to play this against Mono White potentially. Anything that's playing a ton of creatures, Cruel Aggro, all those places. This you're going to want to play against Dimmer Control too. I forgot to mention those ones in the Shark Control decks. Then we got Crocs, a Titan of Death's Hunger. So we already talked about this card. Here, if you move this in your main board, you're really kind of moving more so into that Rakdos mid-range deck, but with that higher end piece. Where you're going to play this is not against the aggro lineup, more against the late game and mid-range. So against Selesnya, adventure type decks, the Rakdos Escape mid-range. You could play this against Sultai mid-range, Abzan mid-range. Lots of great places to play this. Any of the Doom decks, Yorion decks like we talked about, the Dimmer Control decks, those kinds of things. Then we got Phoenix of Ash, and you could play this against rogues too. Phoenix of Ash is a flying haster. It's a 2/2. It's got Fire Breath there where you can pay 3 and give it +2/+0 until end of turn. It's got a nice escape for 4 where you can exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. Phoenix of Ash escapes with a +1/+1 counter on it. You can play this nicely against the rogue decks. You can play this against things that you need to go over the top on, even in the aggro lineup like a Gruul aggro if you wanted to. But I really like this, and where it's going to excel is that mid-range to late game, as well as against some of those rogue decks. So things like the Yorion Doom decks that we talked about, Dimmer Control decks, UW Control, you name it, those are some good ones. Then last but not least, we got Field of Runes. So as I mentioned, this is a sweet card. It's great to be running sideboard or even main board in standard right now. Here it enters as a land. Obviously it's a land. It says land. You can tap it for a colorless, or you can pay 2, tap it, sacrifice this card, destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Each player searches their library for a basic land card, puts it on the battlefield, then shuffles their library. So very nice in terms of taking out control decks like Crawling Barrens or other things that your opponents might be using. Also, worst case, if you need to go find a color, you can sack it and go pull it. That can also help you at times. I had a very, very nice play in another video of mine. I'm blanking on it right now. Actually, I was playing Mill. That's what it was. Or no, maybe not. But I played this. I killed their land, and they didn't have anything else available, and they couldn't do anything, and it sent them back a turn. It was awesome. So I think that was my mono blue Mill deck. Anyway, with that said, I digress. We're back to here. That is the sideboard, my friends. Now we're going to talk about how we pull these two together for you into a best of 3 for both the aggro, the mid-range, and the late game lineup. So when we're talking about aggro, this deck's pretty well set up already. We got a lot of things up front. What you couldn't add in though is Heartless Act. If you wanted to kind of slow them down, Crocs is always nice too, to kind of get some things out of their hand. Agonizing Remorse, if you do want to pick out some some of their higher end stuff, but at least at a very thin level, let's go 2 to 4 that we would change out. What I would probably do, because the whole premise of this deck is still getting to Ugin, and you want to keep the Ironcrag feet in there, you'd move the 2 Heartless Axe in. You're probably going to take out Shredded Sails. You're probably going to take Shredded Sails. I would maybe keep 1 Ox of Agonis. We do have a nice grouping of lands. You could always take out Kazu's Fury. It still is nice to kind of pair with something on the board if you need to sack it and take a creature off. But that could be something to consider, because this is going to be better for you in the short term in terms of the direct damage. You could go lighter on an Ugin if you wanted to. Again, just knowing that if you get there, they're probably going to just concede because they're not going to have a chance really to come back. So just again, you want to keep in mind some of those strategies. So those are some good spots for you to look. You could go less on Solemn Simulacrum as well. Even though you're getting the ramp and a 2/2 body, it's still expensive at 4. So by pulling some of these things in over here, you're going to move your curve upwards to combat the aggro type decks. So that's kind of what I would consider there for you. Good options nonetheless, and obviously we got the Shatter Skull Smashings here to help us, and you can play that Ironcrag to load up on those creatures. And then when we get to the mid-range matchup, you're most likely going to have to evaluate if they're more creature-based or non. If they're non-creature-based, then it's pretty easy, because you'll pull things like Heartless Act out or Eliminates. You may even pull out Scorching Dragonfire unless it's more of like a Rakdos mid-range, because then at least you can still hit Kroxa and make them go to exile. Shredded Sails may be off the board, maybe not, unless they're running Maze Mind Tomb. But what you're going to pull in is either the Duresses, the Agonize Remorse, Soul Guide Lantern, your Kroxas as well, potentially Phoenix of Ash, depends. So we'll go like a good 4 to 8 there if we want to change things up. So I would get rid of Eliminate, probably Heartless Act, maybe Scorching, maybe Shredded. So this gives you 6 right there. You're probably going to keep these pieces. Where else I would look to move out is, I do like Bone Crusher still in this. You're probably going to remove out Extinction Event, actually. So that's a good evaluation there, 6 to 9 for you in terms of what you can kind of switch up on the deck. So that's how I would look at the mid-range deck again, or mid-range lineup. Again, we're still want to get to that Ugin, because that's going to be that game changer for us. And that is what the deck's about, the Rakdos Ramp. Then last but not least, we got late game decks. These could be like Dimmer Control decks, UW Control, Azorius Yorion, Jessica Yorion, also all the Doom decks. And here's where you're going to want to be able to pick their hands apart. You're going to put in Duress, probably Agonizing Remorse, maybe Soul Guide Lantern. Heartless Axe, not going to happen. Kroxa probably will. If it's a Doom deck, you probably play Phoenix of Ash, because you can sack, bring it back. And any of those that are running Crawling Barrens, you're going to probably throw in a Field of Ruin just to kind of help. So those are all good considerations for you. So at least 6, we'll say, up to 11 into a full board there. You're going to take out Extinction Event, so that's 3. You're also going to take out and eliminate Heartless Axe, Scorching Dragonfire, so that is 8. You can pull Shredded Sails if you need to, giving you 9. And that's a good, healthy way to look. I maybe pull out Kazu's Fury here too, giving you 10. And you should be pretty much good to go there. To be honest, you can always drop a Solemn Simulacrum if you want, but if you sack that, it's going to help you too. So those are some good spots and good plays in terms of how you want to get there and move things around in that late game lineup. You can always drop an Ox of Agonis, but I still really like the refill, particularly on ramp and when we need to be playing lands and kind of really hitting target, unless we have this and this, and that's going to take up 2 card slots. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So Planeswalkers, that is how we line up in terms of the main board, the sideboard, and how we approach all the aggro, mid-range, and late game matches. So with that said, if you still have questions or comments, please let me know down below. Happy to help. Feel free to jump in the Discord server as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and play some competitive Magic today. I'm very excited. We have our good old Orzhov Athros, I spelled that wrong too. Athros Prison deck. You guys should check out those top 100 that we did yesterday. Today we're doing the Rakdos Ramp deck. So let's go ahead. We're going to play some best of one standard ranked here. Now, as we're waiting, as always, Planeswalkers, just a huge thank you. I really, truly appreciate your support, and I don't take it for granted. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there as we make our way towards 10,000 subscribers. And additionally, like the video if you enjoyed it, had fun, learned something new, or we're going to play this deck. We go first. We have a Yorion deck, so we don't have a lot of the key pieces we're going to want here. It's going to be a little bit slower, but I'm going to try this because we have a couple things and we're still going to kind of ramp. And it's really going to depend on the Yorion deck that we're actually playing as well here. Also, other great ways to support the channel down below in the description. Okay, so it's at least Azorus right now. We'll find out if it's Esper or if it's going to be more of that control-y one. If it's a control one, we're just going to say, what I would say is be fairly unlucky. I'm going to pull this off right now and give some damage and pressure. We'll see what they have, because right now, given the colors that they showed, most likely not going to be okay. So now we probably are going to be an Esper Doom deck. So making matters worse for us. I should have played that. Whoops, that was a misplay. Making matters worse for us. I was already thinking ahead without seeing the Crusher down there. Without making matters worse already, they still need to get the black swamp source here. Rightful Heir is going to need to do that to land nicely here. Now, what I was trying to say was, making matters worse, we have an extinction event, which is not going to help us. It will help us if they get Dance of the Manse off. But other than that, it's not going to do much. So we'll see if we can sneak the Bone Crusher on next turn, depending on what happens. Most likely, I'm going to pay for it. Could have played the Mountain just in case they had the Jawari. They did not. And we're going to be really sad because we did have a nice opportunity. So we would have got the 2 in, so they would have been at 12. Get that damage in there. So if they play Doom here, we don't have to cry too much. So good news is we can hit this with Scorching Dragonfire, and nothing's really going to happen there. So that's a nice one for us here. And that's just that, so we'll go next. Just want to make sure I didn't miss my land drop. So, and if they make us discard, we'll discard an Ox. We will, debating if I want to pitch most of the hand next turn. It's going to depend on what we hit, but we may have to get a little bit more aggressive. If we can get to Ugin here, we'll be in a good spot. The problem is going to be, because it's a Doom deck match, we're going to have something else on the board for Ugin to survive. If we can't get Ugin to stick around on the board, we're going to have some problems with our opponents here. So we'll see what happens, but that's kind of what we got to anticipate and tee ourselves up for, is the ability to keep that guy on the board. If we do wipe things, getting a lot of these pieces off is going to be really helpful, because they're not going to be able to play Dance of the Manse, which is a key component and key engine of this particular deck here. I'll keep that for now. Doing that, I'm going to pitch everything. Going to pitch it all. We need to get to that Ugin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're still 2 lands short. We gave up a land. So they're going to get a ton of value here if they pull Yorion in. We're still okay for the moment. They're going to get a lot of value. What do we have in there? We got a lot too. Keep the maze mine, so that's value for us. So now we can't play that though, so we have to wait one turn because we don't want to lose the maze mine. Of course, of course, of course, of course. Let's go grab a land. I will scry, depending on what they do here. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. If they remove everything and are not playing counters, we're good. Most likely not, but you never know. So let's look. Not what we need. Oh, it didn't let me do it on the stack. All right, we'll resolve everything. They're going to get a huge pop here. Take that thing. We'll take our 2/2 back. Close. Take that off now, and that. Oh, so many triggers. All right, rightful error. Let's see what we got going on here. We will go thin. All right, so now we're getting through pretty heavily on the deck. We still haven't seen a Doom foretold yet. But at this point, they don't really need to do too much. That's what I was worried about. There's a Doom. Now, one of the things we could have done is we could have actually casted Iron Craig here, and then that would have hit the graveyard, and then we could have pulled this back in. Something to consider. Maybe we'll do it next time, so we just got to keep that in mind. That 4, 7, 8 others. Not gonna happen. They're gonna get us. We'll see if I can get a 2-for-1. We'll give them the draw on the Solemn there. They're almost at the same deck through already that we have. Kind of funny. Oh, are they going to have that counter? No. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's going to be close. If we can get an Ugin on, man, we'll take everything, almost everything off that board there. We can go to 5. Solemn Simulacrum still going to be a problem. There we go. All right, let's see what we can do. We'll get 2 of those off the board. So, good distraction at the moment, a good top deck for us, but we're very low on what we have anyway, so we should be able to play a lot of things. So what they're doing right now is they're setting up for their Dance the Mance. So one of the best things we could draw is good old Exile. Good old Extinction Event will be very helpful for us. And that's going to be a good game. Unless we pull another Ugin. If we pull another Ugin, well, no, it won't be a good game because we won't get the golden eggs. So everything here is 4. Minus Elspeth. And we'll spike him. And say, good game. All right, on to the next one, my friends. So a very long best of one match. That's what happens when you play more of a ramp type deck against a longer late game type deck. Now, we just didn't get what we needed to when we needed to, but that is how it goes. So let's go ahead here into our second best of one match for today. So we got Anteater King here. All right, Anteater King, let's see what we got going on. So I like this already. We go first. I will keep it. So I'm keeping it because I got all the colors that I need. We can take advantage of a lot of stuff. Let's view what we got going on. We'll keep the direct damage for now. All right, so let's do this. Ooh. Ooh. I'm going to wait. We got a thin. Let's see if we can get anything else. So if we pull an Iron Crag, we will get exactly what we need here. We'll be able to get Ugin on the board. So let's do this right. So view battlefield, we got 4 in there. This is going to fall in. We can use the spike field and actually pull Croxa back. So we'll go back to browser. We need 3 reds to do that. So now we're at 4. Oh shoot, no, not enough. For 5 other cards. Okay. And that's not there yet. And we only have 1 in there anyway. Ah, they had 1 in their graveyard. Ooh, play it again. There you go. Yeah, they could have hit theirs too. That's then. There was our Iron Crag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Oh, bad luck, man. Bad luck. Just right enough when we had a chance to hit it too. So we're going to play one more best of one and see how that goes. I'm going to try something a little bit different today, and maybe do 3 and 2. So let's go ahead and try one more best of one. That was just extremely unfortunate, my friends. Very, very unfortunate. The only thing we could have done was remove, if we didn't kill the Skoos, we could have removed the counter. All right, we'll keep this. We don't have the black, but we got everything else that we need here, so I'm okay with that for now. And we got Crawling Barrens. We got 2 removals and nothing showing late game. Keep that. So this is what I was hoping for. So now we have a couple nice removal spells. So if we hit Iron Crag, we're good. Let's see if we can get it. Another Ugin's not going to do it, but we can take this thing off. Better to do that. And don't forget, we got the Crawling Barrens still. So we'll wait the turn. Is this a warrior's deck? Equipped creatures get double strike. There we go. They waited. What I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So give me 7. Alright, so let's grab a red. Oh, there we go. That would have been nice. We could play the Ox. We'll keep making Crawling Barrens bigger, though, for the time being. Block there. So now oh, we have to play this. I think we have to play that or we're dead. Oh, one land. Just, I don't like it. I don't like it. We can make a 6. Oh. That's game again. Oh, such a rough best of 1 today. So rough. We'll spike him again because it's kind of funny. All right, there we go. That closes out our best of 1 today, going 0-3. Horrible, horrible, but that is magic. That is how it goes, my friends. Today's top deck is just not performing well. All right, so let's go ahead and play some best of 3 here. So we got to go to the transitional standard ranked. Again, here's the Orzhov Aetherios deck, top 100 that we did yesterday. This is the Rakdos Ramp deck. Now, Planeswalkers, as always, huge thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe down over there. Looking to get 10,000 subs this year. Additionally, like the video if you like it, and other great ways to support the channel down below, or you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well to stay up to date on content like this. All right, so let's see what we can do here now in our best of 3. Hopefully we can get some, I'll just say revenge. They were all like close. We were like super close on every one of those matches. If we would have hit one more land with Ugin, that was a done game. I mean, that would have been just fine. The other one we could have delayed if we waited, we could have removed that one counter, then we could have got Ugin, and then that would have had it. So it's very, very important to hit that right. Dysnomia Forgotten. There we go. Okay. So we can play this. I don't like it a ton. Our opponent's looking fast though, so we're going to keep this. I'm going to have to turn 1, play the Spike Field. Yep. So this is going to be a real interesting match for us, you guys. Another Warriors deck. Look at that. We will keep that. We go full control. Well, actually, I don't need to do that. Let's see what we got here first. Keep that. We gotta go grab... Well, we're not gonna get everything off here. That's the problem. I'm gonna grab this. Well, we got 2 oxes though, so right now we don't have a black source. That's fine. We need to figure out how we want to play this. Let's see. We got two options. I'm gonna scry first. That would work if we got what we needed, but we're gonna do this too. See where it goes. So we have to do this. Even if he pays, he's off. So we're good there. Saves us 1 turn. We'll look. Give me a land. There we go. Go. We can go black. Do this. So what I'm doing is, if they pass the cleave onto something, I'm going to hit that with the spike. There we go. We're still alive. We are still alive, my friends. Let's go grab another one of those. So now I'm gonna have to debate next turn if I want to pitch and go that route. Odd, even, odd, even. Might wait. Gonna wait. Might hurt me, we'll find out. That was what I was hoping to not have happen. So we'll block like this. But now we can hit all odd. There we go. Now we got kill spells 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Couple to go here. Is that 6? Could do that. 3. We still have the eliminate to protect him, so there we go. Now we got a double 1. Ah, there we go. Took her down. Took it back. Took it back, my friends. So fast matches here. Well, not fast, but let's get Heartless Act. Croxes are going to help us here. We don't need that. What do I want to get rid of here? Shredded Sails. Well, that does destroy Artifact. Could help. All these are good. Get rid of that one. This guy helps a little bit. Let's get rid of 1 Ox. Let's just go straight up damage here, I think, huh? Let's do that. Keep the ramp, keep the exile. Let's give it a shot. Moving down the curve. Great starting hand. Not. This one, we'll try. We only need one of those. That will get me to 5, so I will hang on to that. Not quite what I needed, but that's all right. Keep that. Spike. Let's look. It's fine. We're gonna have to give him a couple hits here on the Legion because I'm gonna have to get a couple of them. Oh, they're considered other stuff. Brutal. It's game. Guess we should have exiled. That was unfortunate. So we get to go first though. Do we want to pick the hand apart? I still think I'm okay. We have enough response. We just didn't hit it right. We did Iron Crag into Ugin though, so that was nice. 1-1 in our best of 3. Let's see what we can do. We'll play first. There we go. This is good. Let's get some lands. That I will take too. All right, so we do this first. Let's find those lands. That I will keep. Keeping the higher one for now. In or out? Ooh, pitched a land. I'm gonna get risky here and double up. Keep that. So we got 2 draws that we can refill on here. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's look. Keep that. On. So we got a couple different things here. We can Crawling Barrens. I'm going to keep the Spike Field. We can pull the Shatter Skull if we need to there. We're good. Yeah, we were home. There we go. We took it down. Best of 3 check. Let's do one more here today and close her out. So we'll do 3 and 2, trying something a little bit new today. All right, Planeswalkers. Let's go ahead and claim that prize and get into our next best of 3 here, right hot off the press. All right, Nasubi. Now, as you wait quickly, please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Appreciate it. Your support. Want to make 10,000 subs, and feel free to like the video as well. All right, so here we go. We have a Yorion deck, so this is going to be a little bit trickier for us off the bat. So I'm going to keep this because I got the Crawling Barrens, actually. Honestly, because that guy could potentially be the difference for a lot of things for me this game. Looks like a control deck, by the way. Yep. Oh, look at that. Oh, we are going to do that right off the bat. This is going to be this will be a tough match for us, so we'll see how it goes. Oh, maybe it's Esper. An Esper with, well, we don't want to get Jawari'd, so let's do that. I'll keep the Crusher for now. Let's look. There's a land. Let's get rid of that one though. So we can go 2. Ouch. So let's see if we can get this off. There we go. Keep that. Could have played one of those lands. Could have played one of those lands. I could save this. That could be the difference. 4 damage could be the game. I gotta think. Let's do this. Keep that. There we go. Could have waited. Could play my Barons, but let's see what they do. There we go. There's the Doom. Or 7. We need one more land. All right, Kazul's Fury might get us there. We'll see. Once they got another Omen of the Sun. All right, there we go. And we also got that guy too. So here's what we do here. Boom. It worked! We saved it the whole game. That is a nice little trick, my friends, right there. So we need to use Agonizing Remorse, we need to use Duress. We're going to shift into these. We'll grab Field of Ruin. Eliminate's not going to be helpful. Heartless Acts, not so much. None of these. Shredded's still good. We got 7 more we need to drop. Extinction Event's not good. He's slightly helpful. Want to keep that. Ox we want to reload. Solemn. We'll keep those flyers. There we go. Let's do that. All right, there we go. We'll see how this goes. Lots of pieces to pull their deck apart, which is what we need. Could have kept Solemn. Could always go lower. Kept Kazul's. Kazul's won us the match, though, so that's why we kept it in there. All right, we'll see how long it takes for this guy here. Nasubi. There we go. Here we are, my friends. Can we 2-0 this one? I will keep this. I will absolutely keep this. We got a lot of decent things here. Ooh, even better. I'm gonna do this first. We want to keep hitting lands now. Take a Crocs though. So before we play Croxa here, we're going to take out anything that they might have. That's a Doom. Necromentia's gone. We'll dump Necromentia. Keep that. So they can destroy their own Treacherous Blessing here. Ooh, and they did not do that. It is instant speed though. Wow. We'll get my second one on now. Let's look. I can do that. Oh, they got it. There you go. We're gonna have to win this without Ugin. Let's see what we got on top. That's not, well, it could help me actually. Probably counter it though. Force it. There we go. Do that. 3. Now we should be getting the Barons bigger too here, but we'll force them on this. That's going to be a nice reload for them. We didn't hit anything. I think we had one card to pull something out of their hand, so that's a bummer. Bum, bum, bum. But we still have, we can still pull 2. We can make Crawling Barons bigger. So it's going to look at our hand. So we'll wait because we can draw and we can pump a Barons here. If we can't get something that we can pitch and get Kroxa back in, we'll have to pull the Phoenix in next turn. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven. So that gives me 5. I take Yorion off. There's a way here. Well, actually there isn't because I don't have a double black, so we have to play Phoenix. We'll wait a turn. That doesn't hit my Phoenix here. Unless they have a kill spell. There it is. So I could sack it. But I don't think that's the play. I think we can keep pumping the Barons and then get Causa's Fury in there. What's that at? Nothing in there. Go grab that other black. So if we go 2, 3, 4. I was worried that maybe they had another one. I should have attacked in. And I should have kept pumping the one there. Here we go. Could pop that on the stack, by the way, but I didn't do it. We're gonna do this instead. Make another 4. All right. Now we're close. We're very close to lethal here. One, two. All right. So if I go 4 more. As long as they don't have a counter, Cosmos Fury is good. Oh, they have it. They have a counter. Ah! Oh, they didn't let me get it again. So that means even if we would spike the Phoenix, they probably had something there. How many do we have here? 5? Oh, shoot. I picked the wrong one. Oh, brutal. That should have been lethal. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that. The summoning sickness killed me there. Oh, they come back. Oh, we're good. Oh. There we go. That makes up for our best of 3 matches today, my friends. So 0-3 best of 3, or 0-3 best of 1, 2-0 best of 3. So we crushed it with the Rakdos Ramp today in best of 3. We didn't crush it in best of 1, but super fun matches nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's go ahead here now and check out the deck one last time. So here's what we got going on. The Rakdos Ramp deck, today's top deck, again from a nice little series of things between Arena Opens to the current Star City Games kind of finish, qualifier, championship, whatever it was. There's always so many things. Anyway, this is what we have. Again, premise of it, quickly, objectively, is to tie up the early game, get towards that mid to late game, drop Ugin, call it a day. We were able to definitely make several things happen today, see a ton of the deck, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Really, really fun, smooth in the best of 3 stuff. The sideboard stuff really helped us. That Necromentia almost tore us apart there that last game, but we were able to pull through. So super sweet, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck. Questions, comments, let me know down below. Happy to help. Feel free to jump in the Discord server, my friends. And then always appreciate your support. Don't take it for granted. So please feel free to subscribe down over there. Would love to make it to 10,000 subs. You guys can like the video if you enjoyed it and like the matchmaking and all that. And then feel free to support the channel down below. Lots of great ways. And you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. All right, Planeswalkers, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck as much as I did. We had some great games, a lot of fun things, good interactions, couple misplays that happens, but that's the way it goes. I don't like editing that stuff out for you guys. It's real, it's raw, and it's true. So as we go on here, I just want to say you guys stay safe, stay tuned. We got a lot more things coming your way, and until next time, Mythras out.